Hey, what's up, guys? TJ Lawton here, and today I got a little video for you just to quickly write some melodies and riffs and bass lines and even chords. You don't need to know music theory to do this, it's just sort of a trial and error way. And yeah, let's jump straight into it. So, the first thing you do is you find a sound you want to write for, you make a clip, and I usually make it 2 bars long, but you can make it as long as you want the melody to be. And then I make sure this icon up here, the MIDI arrangement overdub, is activated. And what this means is, like, instead of it recording overwriting the clip, it lets you to just record into the same clip over and over. So now what we do is we hit play on this. We can find a note that we like to start on. So I've got a bass sound loaded up. So let's find a note to start on. It's too low. So I don't mind that B. Let's start on that B. So I'm just going to set up my scale to B, B minor we'll go for. So then what we do is we start with the tonic note usually, and I just turn on record, and I just start playing one note at a time and just come up with some basic stuff. So I'm going to let the loop complete here. I'm going to start putting some notes in. Now take off the record, and I've got that looping, and I've automatically quantized it as well. So now what I want to do is I want to find another note that I think is going to sound good with it. So let's try the minor third. Okay, I like that. Let's record that in. So now I'm going to find a third note to mix in with this and come up with something. Cool. So now I've got some really basic bass line. Maybe I could look for a fourth note as well. See, just like that, just by playing in one key at a time. But I got a little carried away with that. Sorry I didn't do any commentary for like a whole minute. But as you can see, very easily I can just play with one note. I can come up with something without understanding music theory, just by finding notes that sound good and then playing them one at a time, and then eventually building that out. It's good to stick with only like 3 or 4 different notes in terms of pitches, because after that maybe it gets a bit too complex. But don't take that as a hard rule, it's just a guideline. So let's try that again, but this time let's use a 1 bar loop. So I'm going to change the scale here. I'm probably going to go with like F minor now. And if you don't know how to set the scale in Ableton, if you have Ableton 11, you just come here, click scale, and you can put it in like that, and hit this button, and then you have all the notes in that scale. I've got a MIDI controller here, so I'm playing it in, but yeah. So now we're going to do the same again, but in F minor.
A few moments later.
And again, yeah, that one's not my best creation, but it came out all right in the end, something that could be used. You might be wondering, like, well, why don't I just play it in like that? And the thing is, like, if you can, then do it. Not all of us are so skilled with playing, and sometimes this can yield pretty interesting results. This is just this isn't like a hard rule on how to write melodies. It's just strategy you can use if you're stuck. I've used it a few times, come up with some really interesting sounds and melodies with it. So that's all for today. Like and subscribe to see more.